Hello everyone, welcome to Ark Nova replay analysis number 403. Today we've got two fun games to look at, but before we start with that, I wanted to do a quick community shout out. I'm looking for big Ark Nova turns to feature on a future video. So if you have any turns in mind where you have like double eagles or eagle sun bear or determination, like any turn where you're getting a lot of points, I want to see these massive turns to make like a little compilation. So if you have any, feel free to post them in the No Wonders community. I've got a little thread for it. I'll post a link in the description of this video. But otherwise, let's get started. Hello everyone that's already here. So the first game is between monkeydo and nickismyname. Nickismyname, also known as Phoenicks Gaming on YouTube, also known as Nick from the World Series of Board Gaming Ark Nova final. This is a game that we were potentially going to look at last week, but it was in the first round of the Snark Nova tournament. But very fun game, and yeah, as we can see, there is species diversity as one of the projects. You'd know that if you looked at the title of this video. Then we also have Australia, herbivores. We're looking at this from monkeydo's perspective, and you've got small animal and climbing. Not great with either of them. We are on Silver Lake. With the opening hand here, first thing that like your eyes are drawn to are obviously the sponsor cards. Science Library and Water Playground, both very solid options. I would keep those in most opening hands, to be honest. The animals are not great. The lemur's like really the only playable animal early. It's nice, the primate being a sort of slightly rarer species for the species diversity. For the last option, I do like the rhino. It is a herbivore to match with the project. It's not as good because species is already up here, but you can still get habitats from it. Those are the four that I would pick. You can see originally monkeydo decides to keep those three plus the muskox, but then changes his mind and keeps the stork instead. Oh. Lower the volume. So I think the interesting thing about keeping the stork, well, I think the main reason is there's a lot of upside if you do find a release for it, stork being one of the best releases in the game. But the main reason you'd go for that is because of the rewards on 5 and 8 conservation points. The university's a very important race to win. Just gives a ton of extra value, and even 10 money over 2 reputation is a pretty big difference, I feel. 10 money is extremely useful. But anyway, there's no releases in the display. Vet's kind of interesting from the display. I wouldn't be surprised to see someone build over this card draw and draw it pretty quickly. But Nick is the first player. And he just decides to draw 3 cards from the deck randomly. monkeydo starts with Water Playground. It's good to get your sponsor out early because he does want to play 2 sponsors ideally this round. Not like you need to build more than once this round, really. And we see Nick's second action is to play Polar Bear Exhibit. And when there's species diversity here, it's just a cheat code to winning it. Already 2 species to 0 for free. Not even for free, even getting a positive net money from covering the money on Silver Lake. Hello, Bob. monkeydo's second action is just to throw down a size 3 for the lemur. Nick grabs the hand size uni. So Nick doesn't have to grab a uni yet. I expect he's going to grab a uni. It's not really any point playing the white stork without a release for it. Draws cards. I think drawing cards first is sensible though. Draws everything from the deck. Actually not bad here. America release is pretty interesting with 2 America animals up here. Sponsorship Primates is playable with the lemur. Horse could be... Horse is actually pretty good on Silver Lake because of all this reputation. Now all of a sudden if you grab the 2 reputation uni plus play the horse plus the 2 rep on the ground here, you're up to like 7 already. It can help you unlock a worker in the second round if you keep it. So the Stork does go there. Nick plays a petting zoo. Only reason you'd put one down is if you have a petting zoo animal, so already up to 3 species basically is what he's saying. monkeydo does grab the 2 rep uni. Nick draws cards again for the 2nd time this round. He does have hand size uni, so even though he has 7 cards, it's not that big of a deal. If we're to read anything into this, it could be that he has the wallaby and he wants to pouch a card before playing it. Or looking for a 2nd petting zoo animal, I guess, is another option. Nick could cause the break. I don't know if I'd sell any of these though, but he does go ahead and sell Sponsorship Primates. You going to bed? Good night. It's kind of interesting. I could see it going either way there. If you sell it, you get immediately 4 money, but if you play it, you get 1 appeal and then 3 income, but it takes an extra action. Personally, I would keep it and look for a longer first round. Nick does play the wallaby. Because monkeydo's next action is going to be a sponsor action anyway to play. Well, he could cause the break here, but I don't see any benefit doing that while your association's at 2. So I like... Okay, it does cause the break. I was going to say throw down Science Library. Now the next action's a bit awkward. I guess spend an X token to get the other uni and then upgrade build. But I don't think the timing is too bad if you play Science Library and then draw cards again, potentially. I guess you do want to keep these cards. Alright, monkeydo does cause the break, so we're going to see what Nick's first action is. Native Seabirds for a 4th icon. Hey Tarek. This could be sort of, I don't know, like a little bit overcommittal. It depends how quickly he wants to like really get species 5. Like if the next 2 moves are going to be build and then play a 5th icon, I guess. But native seabirds, I think you can utilize a lot more effectively. Like if you grab a uni upgrade build, you can just fully build out and get an extra 1, 2, 3 points easily at least. So what that does tell us is that he probably does not have another sponsor in hand that's playable. Otherwise, I would prefer that getting played first. Does spend an X to grab the uni. monkeydo upgrades build first. But that's reasonable. It's going to build over the reputation spots and then upgrade most likely animals to get a 2nd worker. Oh, hey, it's actually monkeydo in the chat. Yeah, I was looking forward to covering this game last week, so I did watch it. It's a nice game. Nick grabs a 2nd uni anyway, so this is where I like to see like grab the 2nd uni, build, and then play native seabirds for some extra points. But it seems like upgrading build was not in his plans, so then I guess the sequence does make more sense. Upgrading cards and animals. Cards are a bit more unusual. Normally, I'd like to see cards if you want to draw something from range. If it's just to get an extra card, I think it can come a bit later. Yeah, monkeydo can definitely get 2nd worker here. Yeah, petting zoo comes down over the rep, like we talked about. That's up to 5. Yeah, we do see the animals, and then Chaos Pavilion covering the other rep, so up to 6. Playing the horse with animals 5 is up to 8. Okay. If you're only going to build a size 5, then upgrading build doesn't make sense. So, yeah, I like this overall for Nick actually as well. The placement's a little bit interesting. Normally you'd cover the money, but seems like it has a rock requirement, and just drew a card from the deck as well, covered up the drawing a card. Not the best draws here from monkeydo. Sponsorship Vulture's just unplayable right now. Yeah, probably get rid of that. Yeah, I think first seal very likely. Also with the upgraded animals being a requirement of it, makes a lot of sense. But also grabs the... Nick does grab the Dusky Leaf Monkey from range, which is the 5th species icon that he needs. But it doesn't look like it's getting played just yet. That's going to be funny if it is the first seal. Sorry, I know it's the first seal. It's going to be funny because they're both going to have extra workers just in different ways. monkeydo gets to 8 reputation to get the second worker. Nick plays the first seal to get his second worker. And the game's kind of even. Nick has a slight point lead, but monkeydo has a 20 money lead. And but then Nick also has 4 out of 5 species, so he's got a lead on species, and he's already got an Australia icon for this. It's pretty close. monkeydo grabs the America's Partner Zoo, probably eyeing the Macaw or the Howler to release, maybe both. Nick grabs the Australia Partner Zoo, up to 2 Australia icons now. Okay, this is a great time to play Science Library. monkeydo is very happy to stay in the round here with 26 money in hand, plus all this money on the floor. And I think this is where the game turns. It is kind of close, but I would say Nick is ahead just from the sort of how far ahead he is on the projects. Like, especially getting Species 5 into this free uni is going to be huge. But I think Nick makes a... It's an understandable mistake. It's a really tough decision to make, but I think here you always have to cause the break. But the temptation is Nick has 7 cards in hand, and putting down Expert on Australia uses up those extra cards so he doesn't have to discard any, gives him some extra appeal for income. But now the problem for Nick is the next 3 moves that he makes are really going to suck. Like, there's no good 3 moves here. You can only build like a size 1. You can draw cards to try to advance the break, but even doing cards first doesn't allow you to cause the break just yet. So maybe the sequence would be like Xing out animals, then cards, then sponsor 3. It's just really ugly, whereas monkeydo can fully build and play animals. And that's exactly what we're going to see. Building a size 3 to grab the Macaw from range. Building a size 1 to grab the Red Howler from range. Pavilion as well, covering 2 money. Right, Expert first, then Partnership would be slightly better, yeah. I agree with that. It might tell us that he has 5 cards that he really wants to keep, doesn't want to pouch an extra one. Yeah, we do see that card's 4 action. Okay, it's not the worst to snap up the goat, but it does mean that a card's going to get discarded now. But that is the second petting zoo animal. It also denies a petting zoo from monkeydo, so not that bad overall. But yeah, Xing out cards just so monkeydo can do animals at 5, and can play both of these. The posturing over this money is going to be enough to afford both. And yeah, here we see the build 1 action, which is, yeah, just not ideal. So in order to like save discarding 2 cards, it's cost 3 turns of tempo basically. 2 turns, I guess. Yeah, we do have Macaw first. And the other thing is that really, like, taking that bad build action really jeopardizes getting this uni. Because now Nick is a build action and an animals action and an association action away from supporting species. Like, he needs a size 2 enclosure for the monkey. Whereas monkeydo can release the red howl that he's about to play to get 4 conservation points, upgrade association, donate once, and he's got a uni. So yeah, with that animals action, monkeydo has a slight point lead, but a 7 income lead as well. But yeah, even having said that, it's still extremely close because Nick is going to support species at 5 first. Don't mind the little card bug there. We do have the Red Howler release. Wasting 1 reputation, but it's not the biggest deal. Yeah, I think it's well worth upgrading association instead of cards here. Even if you do miss out on 1 reputation. Yeah, now monkeydo has complete tempo over getting the university. And the thing with grabbing the university is it also gives him tempo on grabbing 10 money here. Because this university is going to give 2 CP by itself, which gets you from 5 to 7. And 10 money is much better than 2 rep. Yes, here we see that unfortunate build to action. We know what it's for. It's going to be for the monkey. Monkeydo not interested in playing Baboon Rock, which is understandable. I don't think it has too much value being played right here. But there's also a small tactical reason for doing this. We did see that he drew the Anaconda in hand. Yeah, sorry, he took snapping from releasing the monkey and drew the Anaconda. Built a size 2 for it as well. So we do see the Dusky Leaf come down. And the goat. Yep, don't forget about the goat. It's an interesting thought. So Robert in the comments says, what do you think about Nick just manually taking the university? I think it's not worth it. Because then, yeah, like as you say, monkeydo just takes 3x tokens and Nick is left with 5 money, and I think I would rather, even getting second place 3x tokens is not the worst. I'd rather get 3x tokens than get 5 money and my opponent get 3x tokens. An absolutely brutal move here. This is an extremely annoying constriction. The thing is, as Nick, you don't necessarily mind getting a partner zoo here, but it's kind of scary. Because all of a sudden, if monkeydo has like a Sun Bear in hand and grabs Asia partner zoo, you don't necessarily have tempo on grabbing species 5 anymore. I guess you kind of do, but it's scary. Like, I think in this position, Nick should just grab a partner zoo, but instead X's out animals, so just wasting another turn. And then you're going to have to spend 2 X's to do Species 5. And it's going to be too late anyway, because this is a Partner Zoo and donation coming in. Uni secured. And yeah, very close to the 10 money as well now. So with that, monkeydo has a point lead, but we're about to see points level again. Nick grabs the 5 income, which I don't mind. It keeps incomes basically level. Upgrades build now as well, and yeah, grabs the 3x tokens. Going to see monkeydo spending an X token to do cards 5. Could suggest one of these sponsors getting drawn. Actually, pretty nice draws, those two. Hydrologist is a great sponsor, so won't need to draw any of these now. That's why we draw one at a time. Like, if he hadn't have drawn Hydrologist, I think he probably would have drawn Ornithologist from range. Or another sponsor as well. This one could still be useful, actually, to get Australia 4 first. Nick is at 3 Australia. There is a sea lion. Baboon Rock gets ditched. Yeah, nice draws there. Dingo, Kangaroo, and Breeding Program is for Australia for monkeydo in hand. Nick grabs Sea Turtle Tank from range. It's not a bad way of keeping up with money. I don't... See, in Nick's position here, you don't necessarily want to cause the break because you do have 2 workers to monkeydo 0. Monkeydo, I don't think necessarily wants to cause the break either because he's got 2 good sponsors that he wants to play. Sea Turtle Tank comes down. Sells 2 cards. Fair. I like it if you have 2 cards that you want to get rid of there. Yeah, points are level, money's level, income's level. Nick's closer to Australia 4, so I mean, at this stage it still looks like Nick is slightly ahead. Even like after everything I've been saying about monkeydo playing well, Nick is still like dead even in this game. Builds a size 4 for the kangaroo, and what could also be for the sea lion. And builds a pavilion to cover up the player sponsor for money, plays breeding program. So up to 2 Australia now. Nick gets his second partner zoo for his last upgrade. Upgrades association, so pretty standard, both players choosing not to upgrade sponsors. Yeah, now monkeydo's in the awkward position where he needs to cause the break because Nick's in the exact opposite position. He has money to build and play animals. Yeah, will need to build before playing animals though, unless he has a 3rd petting zoo in hand. Yeah, good opportunity to draw the sea lion from range. And draw the croc, just really denying any Australia symbols. The alpaca shows up. Should be fairly contested. Both players... Nick needs a 3rd petting zoo animal. monkeydo's still looking for number 2 and 3. Nick builds a size 3 pavilion. And size 1. Size 1 next to water, not next to rock. Also not choosing to cover up this drawing a card spot. A kind of interesting placement there. I do like those little... So yeah, while Nick has the extra worker, I do like the little like partner zoo and 2 rep move. 2-rep as well would allow him to grab a card from range. So yeah, the thing is, if Nick built first, he'd be able to draw the Sea Lion from range. But kind of expect that he doesn't need the Sea Lion if he's building a size 3 and like showing no sort of rush to draw it. There's also a Taipan that's just appeared as well. I would assume that Nick has another Australia. Should definitely be worried about monkeydo stealing it though. So Taipan's an interesting snap, but I think here for monkeydo you just have to take away the Cobra. It's not even taking away; it's just an insanely good card. Hypnosis is basically a determination in the late game. Oh right, yeah. Association was not upgraded. Yeah. Nick drawing first. If he draws the Taipan, well, that signals that he didn't have an Australia, and even if he did, it would be too late anyway. So it looks like, I think this was another key moment in the game. Just, like, monkeydo stealing away Australia 4 is a pretty big deal. There haven't been too many projects come out, and Australia 4 versus Australia 2 is a pretty big difference. Takes research from range, makes sense. Or we could also see a hypnosis here. This would be a like brutal time to hypnotize. We're not going to see it yet. Okay, I was wondering about kangaroo versus sea lion, but sea lion makes sense, especially if you're about to play the dingo and it just gets more pack. Oh, it also ensures that you get the 10 money, it giving the conservation points, so that's pretty cool. True, could have missed the breeding program as well. Yeah, I'm sure at this stage Nick would have really not been happy to see the dingo for Australia now. So this is the thing. Nick had... Well, okay, Nick might have drawn that from the cards action just then. I would have expected with the size 3 that he'd already had it though, so... It's just kind of weird timing to not play the animal first and at least ensure that you get Australia down first. I think what he wanted was to draw cards first to take away the Taipan, but then to also have cards to pouch. I was going to say possibly to put the alpaca in range, but the alpaca was already in range, I think. Another one shows up. Also worth remembering that monkeydo's endgames are not great. Only got 2 projects for breeding program. Does have 5 species, but hydrologist not met just yet, but should be met. Nick currently does have 1 in native seabirds, but that's about it on his end. Also playing that petting zoo animal has put Nick in hypnosis range again. Does put down a predator breeding program. And takes snapping. The Gould monitor makes a bit of sense. Every Australia animal that he plays is giving extra value from pouching. Also from being able to sell, but probably doesn't have that many cards. I think it does make more sense to draw, sort of like the ordering of that is you want to draw from the deck first with these 2 and then snap afterwards. Because like imagine if you drew like low mountain range, then you'd obviously want to snap up the condor or something. Geologist kind of interesting for both players. Scores are basically dead even again. Money's kind of even. monkeydo does have a slight advantage. But in terms of projects now, neither of them are anywhere close for herbivores, so it's not happening. They both have like a free 2 CP project to support. We know that monkeydo does have research, but only for 3 CP. And this is an interesting one. You do want to use cards at its full action to see the extra card, but at the same time, you want to see what cards you get before you build enclosures. But I guess building a size 2 is always safe for the Hypnosis here. But I guess just seeing what else he gets. Raccoon is pretty nice. The only downside is it's going to give 2 points to Nick with the polar bear exhibit. We do have the break from Nick. Nick has snapping as well, so yeah, I don't think it's the worst cause in the break. This should definitely be the last round. Ooh. The thing is, on Silver Lake, getting your last worker doesn't really do much. It was pretty interesting discarding the kangaroo over the hippo there. So I don't see like any reason you'd get an Africa partner zoo, which makes the hippo kind of well, I was gonna say it's a herbivore for the project, but so is the kangaroo. So don't particularly understand, but I don't know. I feel like the kangaroo is pretty playable there. Nick does snap up the geologist, which is, it's okay. It gives him a sponsor to, when he builds up here, to play for money. But building up here does lose him a native seabird's point for touching this water. monkeydo grabs the bear just to deny the polar bear exhibit a bit, I guess. Could also be played, to be honest. Kind of interesting building patterns. So size 2 we can assume is for the Cobra. Oh, it's going to be another brutal timing, but also you're taking the Clever now to get rid of sponsors is beautiful timing. And then just building around here to touch the last water for Hydrologist. Size 1 probably for the Raccoon, could also be for the Grass Snake. Grass Snake's actually better points-wise because the Raccoon gives 2 back to Nick. But the boosting association can be really useful. I think this is like another opportunity Nick missed. If he covers Clever here, gets rid of cards, then it protects both animals and association from hypnosis. Would I spend 3 X's? Three X's for what? For building? Size 4 comes down. Oh, as in the difference between Raccoon and the Grass Snake? Yeah. Well, boosting association back up to 5 is much better than spending 3 X's and clevering down one thing. But yeah, I'd always be happy to spend X's on association. It's like the one thing that you want to do in the last round. Yeah, I think the thing that Nick missed here was covering this Clever is pretty important right now. Because he's about to get his association hypnotized. Does play the Grass Snake. Spends 2x's to, yeah, support a project. What are we going to see? Research first. Yeah, I didn't notice this until second rewatch. But it's kind of interesting, right? Building here is not amazing. I guess covering the clever does the same thing, but it's like touching this water loses you the point from seabirds anyway, but you do get 3 extra points from geologist because you get 3 instant points and then 3 endgame points. We do have research into, hypnosis into extra action, research into extra action, into predator breeding program. I could do not donating there, but I actually do wonder if it's better to donate. Actually, I think it is. It depends what animals come down. There is a size 1. So I think actually donating is better than playing the raccoon. Because the raccoon's only +2, but donating is +3. I guess the difference is rabbit and raccoon ends the game just. Oh no, but animals 5 gets the extra CP, so I think, yeah, donating is better there. Endgame is small animals. Okay, yeah, playing both does get to 8 small animals. That's a good point. Right. So yeah, raccoon is +5 then in that case. +2 plus the 1 endgame. Yeah, Nick knows he has very little time left now, but should still be able to get some good actions in. Does animals at 4 instead of 5, so presumably has a way to well, it's kind of out of necessity. Needs those X tokens to do association and get his extra turn. Lion is a very good last card. Lion and Bird of Paradise. The other thing about this, like, sus 1 size placement, I guess at the time he didn't know it, but won't be able to hit Geologist here. Geologist endgame. This rock is missing. I don't play with the enclosure sizes on. I don't know anyone who would do that. Yeah, lion, great, second last animal. Bird of Paradise as well, pouching with the expert on Australia. Not the best way to end for monkeydo, but should be relatively safe. Nick only has 16 money. So yeah, raccoon and rabbit. Finishes on 103. And now, yeah, we have the Association 5 for Nick. Savannah, also a great last project. That 1 reputation, pretty damn useful getting the extra conservation point here. Into the extra action, but not donating, we have a size 5 enclosure. If he had a bit more money, it would be pretty interesting. So monkeydo's actually done very well with his endgames. 3 from small animal. Only 4 projects though, so no breeding program, but does hit hydrologist and science library. Nick does not have geologist unless this is like a posturing animal. Does not have any of these. It is just the primate from range. Still 6 points, so finishing 103 to 101. Only having Conservation Zoo is not ideal at all. So yeah, I did really love this match. I think it was very instructive. I think there's sort of two mistakes. I think the main mistake was the timing of Expert on Australia. Like, causing the break there does... It really... It keeps monkeydo... It stops him, like, catching up on tempo. Because monkeydo had 20 odd money and didn't really have the time to spend it, but allowing him 2 or 3 actions in the break while Nick could do nothing, just let him spend that money, get extra income. But it also lost Nick the uni bonus at 5, and then consequently the 10 money at 8. Whereas if it just calls the break, he'd get a full build action off, he'd be able to play his monkey in time and just support species and get the uni. Yeah, Nick did know about the hypnosis, so yeah, the other crucial moment was not covering the clever. And because he didn't hit the end game of Geologist anyway, it's just strictly better to like, Geologist just cost him money for only 3 benefit. Yeah, covering the clever does lose native T-birds as well. But that clever would have been pretty huge to avoid hypnosis. It's extremely easy to miss though. Anyway, very cool game. How many turns was that? 30-turn game. I still think well played from both sides. Nick had a favourable opening hand, but still crossing as well in 30 turns is very good. Well, he already had the... okay, true. You could release the first Seal plate and play the big beer. The Grizzly beer. I think Geologist made sense because he was just planning on building a size 4 anyway, and then it's a sponsor for him to play. Okay, that was game 1. I'm going to make a poll before the second game. Do you play with enclosure sizes on? See, poll doesn't really work for me because now it covers... Oh, no, that's gone. 5 hours thinking time. Yeah, I think everyone's rightfully voting for no here. I'll let this poll run for a little bit, but we'll get started on the second game. We have 2 very high-level players. Darcelmaw, the current #1 player. You wouldn't know it because he's a very humble guy. When JD or Dwarven Time reach #1, like, everyone knows about it. But Darcelmaw's just a quiet achiever. That's why everyone likes him. Very humble, very nice young man. Current #1, over 800 elo. Only one of 3 players to get there, I think. And up against CN player who is just below master level, I think high 600s. Okay, extremely strong player. This is just an arena match from earlier today, I believe. Or maybe a few days ago. CN player is first player. We're on Park Restaurant. We're looking at this from Darcelmaw's perspective though. The projects are Europe, Americas, and Asia. Pretty funny, means projects are going to be pretty difficult to do more than 2 of them, just because none of them synergize together. So it would make sense to keep a project here. Large animals and climbing park are not ideal. Also, not really any synergies here. Like the monkey for the Asia synergy, Zoo School, because it's just a generally good card. And then, I don't know what you keep as the last one. Caracal is playable, Petting Zoo is playable, Herpetologist can be decent extra money. So I'm curious. I have not watched this match. Oh man, the replay's broken. Looks like we're not watching this match after all, but I do have a backup match. Let me just open it up. Hopefully it's not going to spoil it. That's very disappointing though. That's super disappointing. Looking forward to that. Alright, no one look at the screen, no one look at the results. You guys saw nothing. Alright, I'm gonna end this poll. Yeah, it looks like most of you voted for no, which is the right answer, so congratulations everyone. I don't know if the replay breaks more often than usual, but it's really annoying that it happens. Alright, take two. This is a match from #1 player Darcelmaw against a Chinese player called Citazn. They're a bit lower rated, but this was still an interesting match that caught my eye. We're on Research Institute. Projects are habitat diversity, species diversity, and Africa. Darcel's projects this time are small animal and conservation. Conservation can be okay. Small animal can be okay. From this opening hand, there's quite a... I like the two sponsors. They have good synergy together. Quarantine Lab, very solid. Then with the already getting the science icon from this, Guerrilla Field Research has a lot more value. And then, I don't know, I'd be very tempted by... The thing with the Tarsier is... Actually, the thing with the Tarsier is it's actually good to start a partner zoo on this map. The thing with starting with a university is that, like, okay, you get your 2 universities and you upgrade your cards and then you build to this uni and you get a 3rd uni and then so what? But starting with 2 partner zoos means you can upgrade your build, then get a partner zoo here, and get a uni here, then get a uni from the track on 8. So I don't mind Tarsier, and then Platypus for the unique habitats, pretty interesting. We'll see. I do like all those picks. That's not having watched the game, but yeah, that's totally what I would pick there. They're also both small animals. I think these two were easy picks, and then these are just generally decent animals anyway. Okay, the opponent starts with a size 1. That's a very, very suspicious spot. This spot is telling us that you need the size 1 to touch rock. That's a very odd one. If you wanted to touch rock, surely you'd cover the 1 rep. What this spot kind of tells me is that they have archaeologists. It's like an archaeologist spot. Darcel starts with Africa partners, so you're going for 2 Africa early. Okay. Could be, probably not the ostrich, but potentially the look at snapping the agama or the tortoise. Opponent snaps up the American monkey. We do have Quarantine Lab come down. Now, is this going to be water playground? So it's not... I can't quite make sense. So water playground there is fine, but it means it's not archaeologist now. Darcel does snap up the Agama. They're really prioritizing just being able to support a project early. Putting down the Tarsier is fine, but it doesn't help you with a project, and the Agama does. This is also a third species as well. Opponent just grabs hand size. Darcel builds a size 2, probably going to build a size 1 as well to play Platypus and Agama. Opponent builds a size 2 as well. We'll see if the opponent does play animals first, because size 2 with the Africa partners is kind of hinting at the Macaque to like pilfer. Seems like they don't care. They call Darcelmaw's bluff and just play their monkey anyway. And the common wall is it okay. So it did need to be touching rock after all. Didn't really need the money though. I would have preferred starting down here for the opponent on the rep. Also, Clever's down sponsors with the Squirrel Monkey, which is kind of odd. I guess they do want to draw, but you'd want to keep sponsors high to be able to cause a break if you need. Anyway, yeah, this is annoying now getting platypused. Right, that's another thing as well. You can size 2, water playground size 2. I think that's a much better sequence of moves. Size 2, you get the money anyway, and then yeah, you get a second uni. You can even upgrade animals before doing animals. I think that's how we can tell it's a slightly weaker opponent. A lot of the time you can get stuck in a mindset like, I don't want to waste 2 extra money on an enclosure that's bigger than I need, but like size 2 water playground, size 2 is a beautiful sequence of moves. It's also possible they didn't expect to get the uni, but Darcelmaw took the Africa partners very early. Pretty sure they could have. Yeah, I think in this situation, just Xing out the Venom card this early is perfectly reasonable. Darcelmaw just does cause the break anyway, with the X token that he got from Quarantine Lab. So yeah, kind of interested to see the reward that's going to be from supporting Africa here for Darcel. Have noticed snapping is very trendy lately as the first reward. Yeah, see, this is what I really don't like. Now taking the other uni so you can upgrade build and build towards, well, your third uni, which basically gifts Darcel a university here on 8, does not have to contest for this at all. He's just going to get it for free. That is the one that is why I like starting partners use here, because you can have too many unis. Yeah, it is Africa into snapping. Snapping what? Flamingo? Looks the most interesting to me. Upgrading build. Yeah, Flamingo is nice for the different continent and species. At least if you kind of work towards both of them, you're nearly guaranteed to at least hit one of them before your opponent. Yeah, now they're in a rush to get the third uni. Really shouldn't be any rush because we know that they don't have guerrilla field research. I guess in a way it is annoying for Darcel because he probably would have liked to get the 2 science uni and play guerrilla field research this round. So kind of inadvertently denied that. Darcel would be very happy with these draws though. That's the 4th continent now. Actually gets rid of guerrilla field research. I guess these are all good cards. Yeah. Yeah, fair, I guess. Opponent just drawing from the deck as well. Yeah, see, and this is the situation where it's better for the opponent to cover the rep so they can upgrade animals or something. Yep, just gonna build on this. You need to get hand size. Building a size 3 for the flamingo. Also, beautiful kiosk spot there. Gonna be nice and central. Opponent plays, okay, that's how they get their rep. They play Meerkat Den with an X. There, that gets them a third species. Darcelmaw plays his third with the flamingo. Another nice kiosk there. Darcelmaw, well, let's review after this animals action. Let's review the positions. Martin for a 4 species. No hunt. Just that. So, I mean, basically level game. Opponent has a slight lead on species. Darcelmaw has a... We know that Darcelmaw has a 4th continent in hand, so slight lead on continents. Does play Hydrologist here. Xing out... Whoa. Xing out build seems like really weird timing to me. You most certainly want build ahead of animals here. I guess just really desperate to draw the 5th species. Pretty bad draws for Darcelmaw there. Does draw Asia, but unplayable Asia. Would expect Darcelmaw to just cause the break here. Oh no, he's got Adventure Playground to play. Nice spot getting the wrap. Opponent plays Breeding Program. That's very nice. That is their 5th icon. They actually might have a chance of getting habitats first as well. That is their 4th habitat down already. Kind of precarious position for Darcelmaw. So yeah, building a size 2 to be able to fit the rear in. Opponent building a kiosk and a size 2. Opponent's missing Africa or Australia. Darcelmaw just causes the break with the cards action. Doesn't hit again. Add are going to be very useful for Hypnosis later. Especially on this map, you don't even need to commit to the Europe partners who to play it. Yeah, opponent does snatch species first. They take a worker. I guess worker's fine. I think in their position though, I don't know. They're very close to 8 rep to get a second worker that way anyway. They upgrade Association. And get the size 3. I think size 3 over card draw is fine. Yeah, Darcelmaw might as well do species here, although a little bit risky. He does get a second worker. The risk is the opponent taking away habitats as well. That would be pretty disastrous, I think. They play an Ibex in the size 3, which does trigger their meerkat den. Oh, not a good time to use Cobra at all, though. Actually, okay, it doesn't matter because of Quarantine Lab, so it's fine. Just not helping with habitats. Just purely appeal animals. I think if the opponent's paying attention here, they should really grab the Asia Partner Zoo away. Well, actually, we might see some break chicken happening. Now both of them have Habitats 5 complete. Basically, whoever causes the break first is going to lose the race to Habitats 5. So the Xing out begins, but Darcelmaw should not lose this race. He's got 12 money to 1. Yeah, so the first thing is they both need to get their associations up to 5 and ready. I think Darcel should save a bit of his money so he can build more if needed. Opponent draws from the deck. It's really going to come down to how many sponsors the opponent has. Darcel is not drawing well here. Like, no sponsors is going to make the break chicken very hard. Just a lot of animals as well. So Savannah is pretty good though. Eurasian Lynx is one of the better releases you can do. Just because it gives so few appeal flat. Opponent just taking a card's 1 action. Darcel Xing out stuff again. Foreign Institute getting another worker for the opponent, but not enough to support a project yet. Yeah, they actually can't do anything with this worker. They can't grab another uni, and the 2-rep does nothing without cards upgraded. And with no money, it looks like they're just going to be Xing out things. Darcel does just build a single pavilion. He can build for a while with the extra money from Hydrologist as well. I do wonder how many turns this game is going to be. This is a very intense game of break chicken. Right, yeah. Part of the thing is, I've been in this situation a few times where it's like just terribly bad for both players to cause the break. Spending like 5 X's on a build action is something that can totally happen. Yeah, we have the opponent doing a sponsor 7 action to play Baboon Rock. I think they could have X'd out a few more things though. Because Darcel can still take like 3 or 4 full build actions. I don't think the opponent's ever going to win this race. Well, actually, having said that, they just covered 5 money. They're back in business. They can build 2, so this could be a really long round. We just saw a build 8 action to build a pavilion. Yeah, the opponent doesn't know what's up. Well, actually they do. They draw Herpetologist from range, which is another sponsor to play. See which one of them is going to crack first, because this could go on for a really long time. This would be very stressful in a real-time game as well. I actually think now Darcel is going to run out of things to do first. He has he has the same money. He has slightly more money because of Hydrologist, but he has no sponsors to play. I think he's close to giving up the race with only a build 6 action there. I think if you're gonna, I think if you're Darcelmaw now, this would be the time to sort of commit to causing the break after your opponent spends all of their X tokens. So at the very least, even if you do miss out on Habitats 5, you have a 3x token lead on them. Yeah, that is what happens. I think that's... Darcel was not going to win the race and win the break chicken anyway, so I think a wise decision there. Although, yeah, should have. He actually couldn't draw Herpetologist from range because his reputation is only 3. So this is actually a very relevant game to the video. Darcel's going to lose Species 5 and Habitats 5. And the opponent's going to take a pretty sizable point lead. They would be in a much better position if they could take this University on 8. But as it stands, this rep does nothing for them as well, so... if the opponent had X tokens there, they could at least grab a Partner Zoo as well and upgrade cards and grab the rep, but they're just going to have to take money now. Yeah, they take the 5 money. Darcel decides to keep Conservation Zoo. I think that's a fine choice. He's going to support Habitats to get the 3rd project down. Got Savannah in hand as well. Habitats and takes size 2 enclosures. Gets a sponsor now, but unfortunately not playable. Oh, but okay, that's nice. Eagle there. Eagle draws P-Fal from range. Eagle, very nice draw right now. So yeah, the opponent has a 10-point lead, money lead, income lead, very slight, but still. Ooh, nice Hypnosis timing from Darcel. Okay, the size 2 was important to connect to the Research Institute here to be able to play the Hypnosis. Gets a little Constriction in as well. That could be very annoying if he has a sponsor to play. But yeah, being able to take a 3rd Partner Zoo on this map is absolutely huge because you get 2 CP for the last worker here. Takes Europe as well to make the Eagle cheaper in the future. Oh, and that also gives him the donation to get the uni, which is just good timing. So he gets his 4th upgrade that way. Choosing to go sponsors over associate. I think that's fine. He really doesn't need associate anymore because he's got his 3rd Partner Zoo, which is the main one to get your last worker. Yeah, Citizen just Xing out sponsors. Points are even again, but the opponent does have 39 money to 5. So Darcel should be wanting to trigger breaks very, very quickly from now on. That's a kind of nice draw as well. Secretary Bird nicer though. Aviary should definitely be on the menu here. Wolf as well for the release. Just a lot of animals here though. Opponent spending an X to grab their 2nd Partner Zoo and get their last upgrade, which will be cards. Makes sense to get it before animals, but I would expect Darcel to cause the break here. Yep, for sure. The extra money is going to be pretty nice. Their incomes are kind of low. Discarding a lot of cards there. So So yeah, I would kind of expect to see a size 5 getting built for the wolf. Then you release it, then you put the eagle in it. Secretary bird goes as well, so can probably assume no aviary coming. Scarlet macaw is nice. Drawing expert in small animals as well. That could be a nice late game point boost. Oh, opponent has no enclosures right now. Yeah, somehow their build has ended up before animals again. That's something that they should look at addressing. If you have no enclosures, you absolutely do not want animals ahead of build, like at any point. Like sometimes it can happen, but they should also look at taking size 2 enclosure reward with their next project. Okay, we have a size 1 for the macaw. Yeah, size 5, did expect. Saving the clever there as well. That's going to be a nice clever when you play the macaw, I guess. Nice to trigger it then. Opponent plays the frilled lizard and llama. Okay, llama nice for their meerkat then, giving some extra value there. Frilled lizard could also be released. Kind of surprised they didn't take the release there. What did they draw? They drew the Eurasian eagle owl. Darcelmaw not spending an X on animals there. Would be tempting because his reputation is going to get close to 8. Because he's going to get 1 from Savannah release, and then like 2 upgraded animals action is enough to get to 8. It's a pretty important milestone. So I'm a little bit surprised. He might have planned out this endgame though. Possible that he's going to take 12 money as reward here and then just play these 2 and end the game somehow. End the game with what though? Good constriction timing. Having it on cards and sponsors is super annoying. Darcel does just get even in points with that moves. The opponent takes the Rhino. Rhino good because of Meerkat Den, but like maybe they get 5 Asia. Maybe they get 5 herbivores as well, I guess. It's just much worse when habitats and species are already out. The other Rhino shows up as well. Darcel takes X's, so kind of suggests that he's going to cause the break. That's definitely what it suggests. Doesn't even draw cards. Doesn't need to either though. He's still got this clever action in the bank. Curious on the ordering of things. Snaps up the other Rhino. Could build an enclosure for it. Could build an enclosure for it and do reptiles at 4, honestly. Reptiles, the thing is he doesn't have an actual project, so I think that would have to be the plan. He's going to build 4 and get reptiles. Opponent does release the lizard. What did they take? They took X's. Yeah, I don't know, it always feels like they just have no enclosures. I don't understand how. Darcelmaw has accelerated the game quite fast, but I don't know. They're not like adapting to the pace, but they're still like even in score. The issue for them is having no enclosures right now. Darcel's going to build a size 4 and pavilion over the clever, so the Macaw's dead, most likely. Cars gets clevered down. So Eagle Rhino into Reptiles 4, is that enough to end? This is 16 plus Reptiles 4 is 12, so it's not quite enough to end. Could see another animals action after. Opponent builds a size 4 for the Rhino and... Oh, I really don't like the kiosk move at all. Also a really weird placement. That placement tells us that they must have architectural zoo. I just don't understand why you wouldn't build a pavilion there. But yeah, touching these two water means that the opponent has architectural almost certainly. But not building a pavilion just costs them a point, because there's no way this game goes another round. With expert in small now, 16, now it is exactly enough to cause the end of the game. Oh yeah, he's very close to filling up the zoo as well with the Macaw. Not quite though. There's no way there's going to be another break. Rhino plus Tapir. Okay, so it could be Asia or herbivores. So now the question becomes, is it worth Darcel ending the game this turn? Because the opponent's going to get their action anyway. They also have enough X tokens to get their last worker no matter what. So the opponent's getting plus a donation. The opponent's getting 8 CP, so they're ending the game next turn. I think Darcel can do some delaying, like playing the Macaw potentially, playing the Dingo as well. He does have the X tokens to do it. Ooh, opponent's got another delaying move though with Geologist, which is going to be very nice for them. Single conservation. So the question becomes, is it the opponent playing Geologist is like plus 12? The Macaw is plus 7, the Dingo is plus not that much. Dingo is plus 4, Macaw is 7. Am I wrong? Is it not just better to end the game there? I forgot about the Hydrologist point, okay. It is better, you get the endgame CP from Hydrologist. Actually surprised this water wasn't touched earlier. I guess the other counterpoint is Darcel does have another delaying move, which is to fill the zoo, so it's not bad at all. Although actually, the kind of sad thing is he's 1 money short. If he builds 2 things, then he can't afford Eagle and Rhino. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Opponent does play Geologist, like we expected. So does Darcel... I don't think it makes sense to delay anymore. Okay, the delay move was a single pavilion. Oh yeah, it's also another bonus for getting the last rep, being able to animals at 5. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So it was definitely worth it for Darcel to delay there. That's just very nice endgame technique. The opponent does a good job though as well, grabbing the Australia partner zoo so they reach Foreign Institute endgame goal, having all the different continents. They do take herbivores, so Darcel has nothing to leech off. 12 money doesn't matter, they're going to donate anyway. 118. So yeah, Darcel getting the last worker as well here is going to be very nice. Kind of unfortunate being 1 away from filling the zoo. Wingspan later? Not tonight. No gameplay tonight. On Sunday, for sure. Yeah, Darcel could have... That's interesting. Darcel could have taken anything. He could have taken birds, Europe, or reptiles, but he chose Europe. Why? I think it's a conspiracy. I think he must have been talking to JD during this match and he's convinced him for Europe. Again, 12 money. No donations. So they finish at 118 all, so let's look at endgames here. Quarantine lab, hydrologist, so 2 plus 3 for conservation zoo. Opponent has only 4 projects, so they have breeding program, but they do have geologist and foreign, so 2. If the opponent has favorite zoo, they tie but lose on tiebreakers. If they have research zoo, they lose. If they have... I don't think it's possible for the opponent to win. Even climbing park, they're 1 short of 4 CP. Very cool game though. So Darcel wins just, what did they have? Sponsored zoo. So they are just 3 points short in the end. So yeah, very interesting game of break chicken in the middle. I think Darcel recognized at the right moment that he wasn't going to win it, and the best he could do was cause the break after the opponent spends all of their X tokens. But yeah, losing Species 5 and Habitats 5 is brutal, and he still found a way to come back and win. The Eagle definitely helped. Very unfortunate being 1 money short. It would not have been a close game if he had 1 more money. Also kind of fortunate Rhino. Would have been very awkward playing the Eagle and then having nothing to finish the game with. But yeah, also just very nice endgame technique. Like that delaying move of building a single pavilion to get the extra point, and then also to be able to get enough rep to get the last worker. There was also the delaying move of playing the Dingo and Macaw when he could have just ended the turn previous, but he calculated that it was better for him to wait it out, even though the opponent had a 12-point geologist move coming in. And they actually didn't have architectural, funnily enough, even though they built a random kiosk touching both of these water. I don't understand. Right, expert in small as well, yeah. That is something Darcel does very well. Like, him and JD are experts at like endgame calculation. That's still an area that I feel like I'm quite weak at. So always a pleasure to learn from them. And very nice win. That is all the games we're going to look at today. So thanks everyone for watching. Have a good rest of the day and see you next week.